Space, the final frontier. Well, okay, not really. All right, take two. Here in the Mitten State, welcome to Code 47, bringing you all things Star Trek, spanning the quadrants, the best thing since the neutral zone.
Hey, gang, we are back for episode 112 of the Code 47 podcast on the Secret Friends Unite podcasting network. I am your host du jour, Trekmaster of Western Michigan, Charlie Carden, the commanding officer of the USS Grand Petoskey here in Grand Rapids, Michigan, joined as always by my esteemed colleagues from the windy city of Chicago. She's the best 7 of 9 cosplayer you'll ever meet, Jen Watson.
Thank you. Hi, everyone.
You better believe it. And my side man, Mr. Chief Engineer, the unflappable Peter Stein. How are you today, my friend?
Doing all right.
Excellent. Well, we've got some more exciting Star Trek to talk about. We're continuing to delve into Deep Space Nine. We're going to be talking about the end of Lower Decks Season 4. So we'll break down those 2 episodes, and then we will also give some predictions, thoughts and prayers, as it were, for Season 5, as far as when we might see it. Because jumping right into the news, we're going to talk about some things that will hopefully at least give us some idea of when we might actually see Lower Decks return. But first and foremost, I do always like to, oh my God, I'll almost skip right by it. I'm going to get hit by a bolt of lightning. Give some love and respect to our fine Patreons. These are the folks who support us and give both Peter and Jen and myself the ability to jump in and make some fun additional content. The 3 of us have all participated in my show called The Facts of Geek Life, where we take a classic season of a classic series, pick a handful of episodes, and break it down. Peter and I are currently going through the first season of Ron Moore's Battlestar Galactica. And then Jen and I have tackled Sequest, DSV, and we'll be coming back to do a little bit of that as we get into probably into 2024. You'll be hearing those episodes. So anyway, on our Friends with Benefits level, want to give some respect to Corey and HD, John Sedorf, the fantastic Phoenix Sisters cosplay, and Brendan Myers. Our top tier Patreons are the BFFs, Sean, Stella, and Henry Nias, the lovely Nias family of the Twin Cities in Minneapolis. My dear friend Missy Merchant from Northern Michigan, and Andy Milliken, who's a friend of Missy's, but I don't know where she's from, so I should probably have to find out about that. But anyway, we're very grateful for the support that these folks give us. If you visit patreon.com/Secret Friends Unite, you can try out our Patreon free for a week, sample our various programs. We also just had a great interview segment with writer Timothy Zahn that was conducted by my partner Mark at HalCon in Nova Scotia. And it was a great listen. Jump on now, have a listen. And if you like some of the other content that you hear, consider sticking around. We'd love to have you. So, okay, commercial is over. On to talking about the good stuff. So, Merry Christmas, Netflix says. Here's Star Trek Prodigy. So, yes, we did know that, the streaming wars and then the writer strike and the SAG-AFTRA strike or whatever, the Trek-related victim was the delightful animated Star Trek Prodigy that happened back in the summertime. Much uproar was had. We've talked about it extensively on this program. And it was just a super bummer because it was a super cute show. And we wanted to see it continue to move forward. We knew that a second season had actually been in post-production at the time this announcement happened. But yeah, Paramount Plus said, yep, you know what? We need a tax write-off, so bye-bye. So it was left out there to float. And the big fear for all of us, of course, was that, well, if all these streamers are suffering because there's no new content out there, and so people are trying to figure out if they want to keep streamers, who's going to have the money to pick this up. We'll never doubt Netflix, the original juggernaut, the one that even your grandmother has, even probably your late grandmother has, because nobody ever canceled her subscription. It's possible.
Still using her passwords.
I guess still using her. Yeah. Thank you, Grandma.
No,
Peace.
Kidding.
No, me too. Yeah. I don't think my grandmother passed away 4 years ago. I don't think she was into streaming. So, but at any rate, on December 25th, Christmas Day, for those who celebrate, Star Trek Prodigy will debut on Netflix the entirety of the first season, which originally was aired in two halves, 20 episode. I did actually, this is the one pleasant surprise that I got out of buying an online basically an online television show. I went in after it announced that it was being dropped, and that was in, I think, midsummer, maybe it was in July. I went in, I bought the season. I had the first 10 episodes, and I'm like, oh, I wonder if I'm ever going to see the next 10 episodes. Went back a few weeks later, the other 10 episodes were there. So I do own the 20 episodes, which is nice. And really, one of those long-term projects I have is to start collecting the discs. Like Peter knows for a fact that because we're at Grand Rapids Comic-Con, and one of the things that we have is a television, which I play discs of all of the classic stuff. One of my goals is to snag up the discs of all of the stuff that's come out in the new era, because it's an insurance policy, because this kind of thing could happen with any of the shows. They could go poof forever, and the only way to actually ensure that you have access is discs. So who knows, discs might be making a comeback. So at any rate, we don't know. And then season 2, for which we got a little teaser trailer at Star Trek Las Vegas, will be making its way to Netflix in 2024, which is good, because as of this episode, we are officially out of new content to talk about in segment 1 of the show. So we've done some brainstorming. Jen had a suggestion for the next segment 1 that we're going to do when we come back to you, but we'll keep that a secret for now. So what do you guys think? Obviously, there's a lot of excitement in the room.
I'm stoked. I love Prodigy. I think it's great. It's a great introduction for anyone of any age to Star Trek, because it simplifies things. And I'm so excited it's coming back. And just one small thing is that it's not a tax write-off, because if it was, it would go poof forever, never to be seen again.
That's a very good point.
Like the movie from Warner Brothers.
Oh, that's a very good point.
There's speculation that it's a licensing issue, because it was a joint thing with Nickelodeon. So can Paramount still? I mean, they've got a lot of Nickelodeon shows on there.
I mean, but Viacom owns Nickelodeon, don't they? So I guess I don't understand. I mean, selling
the show, they can sell the show for money rather than do it as a tax write-off. So they're still
that
makes something in some way.
That makes much more sense. I'm totally down with that. So Peter, your thoughts on Prodigy? You were. I'm trying to remember. I know you enjoyed the show. Were you late to the party with? Who was late to the party with this show? I don't know if it was you. Did you like it from the outset? I watched it
from the outset. So
yeah.
I enjoyed it. So.
I mean, we all watch everything. It's kind of what we do. But I totally agree. So this will be good. I don't know. Yeah, it's going to be a race to see in 2024 what's going to be the first thing that comes back, because segueing into our next story, it's no big secret because it happened. I was lucky because I was on the road this week, and it was after hours. I was on my computer, and I'm dipping between social media things, just doing my thing, and boom, I get something either on X or Twitter or Threads that says writer strike is over, 7:56 p.m. And I was like, yes, yahoo! And that was Wednesday. Yeah, it was Wednesday, because the end of the writer strike was effective at 12:01 a.m. on Thursday. And then we started to get indications that actors could be back to they were already getting flooded with announcements before the end of the week that they could be looking to be back to work by the end of November, which is incredibly exciting. We're not going to dig into all of the details of what was accomplished with this deal. It sounds like it was a pretty good one for the actors. You'll be hearing more about that if you're listening to the show on Tuesday when Secret Friends Unite comes out. I know it's something that we're going to dig into a little bit deeper, so please do tune in. And Jen will be with us for that one as well, because we're going to be talking about a certain marvelous film that came out this weekend. Yes, the focus of this article that we're looking at here is how does this impact Star Trek. So, the projects that exist in the Star Trek sphere right now are Season 3 of Strange New Worlds, the Section 31 film, Starfleet Academy, which was in pre-production, meaning it being written, Star Trek Discovery, which is finished, and there's been a floated potential time frame of that being February-March of 2024. Lower Decks, which was just concluded, which also very typically does air in the late summer to early fall. Star Trek Prodigy, we were just talking about. And then Other. So, yeah, I mean... This is what's that? Yeah, legacy, please.
Yeah, and I want it to happen so badly.
Oh, I mean,
I know they've got a lot on their plate right now.
Yeah,
so
there's definitely
not holding my breath. Crossing my fingers.
A lot to come before. So, what do you guys think? What are your predictions of what 2024 is going to look like? I mean, it seems pretty clear that they were off for 4 months. And the writers were off for, a period of time, 1 or 2 months before that, if I remember correctly. So that's 5 months of productivity kind of flushed down the drain. And I take that back. I don't want to say flushed down the drain because that sounds like I'm making light of what they accomplished. And I absolutely do not. They accomplished something significant. They took their fight to the man and they put the man to their knees. And I really admire what they were able to accomplish without a doubt. But yeah, what do you think 2025 looks like? Let's just throw that right out the door. If we get, if we're going to see Prodigy because it's in the can, we're going to see Discovery because it's in the can. How confident do we feel that we're going to see like Lower Decks season 5? Because this article makes it sound like Mike McMahon was able to go back to work. He was kind of on the cusp of finishing I think scripting the finale of that season. And again, it's helpful that these seasons are only 10 episodes, right? So it's not like, it's not like the 1988 writer strike, which TNG's season 2 had, a normal TNG season back then had 26 episodes. That season had 22, and it ended with a clip show, which is kind of like, oh God, we're on strike. We can get a half a day's work out of these people, and we got a bunch of clips. And Shades of Grey was born. But yeah, what do you guys think? What are the next 2 years going to look like for Star Trek, Peter?
Well, obviously we'll have the 2 that are in the can. I'm pretty sure that we're going to have a quick turnaround with Lower Decks.
Yeah.
From what I've seen, it doesn't. Since he's got most of the scripts written, it sounds like if he was working on the finale, then they should be decent. The turnaround time with animation is a little bit faster because you don't have all of the extra stuff with building sets and
just being
moving people. The logistics are a little bit less. Right. So I don't know that we'll see it at the same time as we did this time, but I think it won't be too delayed just because it's animation and they can get it, and they have most of the models already there, and
right, yeah. So it's a lot of it is kind of plug and play.
Yeah, so I think we'll be seeing Lower Decks pretty quickly. I don't know. I think that Strange New Worlds would be at the latest, like mid to late 25.
Yeah, that's my vibe too, because that was the earliest. That was the summer show, and I think it came on in June. So yeah, we'll have to start a little pegboard as far as, because we're really going to have to figure something out. We're either going to have to figure out something totally different for segment 1 of this show, or we're just going to have to eliminate it and our show will be half as long. So we'll do some brainstorming on that. I think we can go back to the good and the bad, which Jen and I were doing for a while. Pick a good one, pick a bad one. Everybody gets a chance, and then just break them down individually. So, but then, like I said, Jen has a surprise in mind. It was her recommendation.
Yeah,
that's a very topical episode that we're going to discuss in segment 1 next time. And then there's an idea that I had that we can develop a little bit more. So we'll still have something. But segment 2 of the show, it was always my intention when I started this recording that I wanted to touch every single Star Trek segment in as much time as it took to do it. And looking at the schedule, it's about 5 or 6 years total to go all the way through it. So we're doing pretty good. So Jen, your thoughts on the next, 18 months, 24 months in Star Trek land?
I think we're going to see probably Prodigy first, just in case Discovery needs any additional pickups or anything that they need to do to kind of smooth it out. But Prodigy seems to be completely finished. So I think we're going to see that first on Netflix, followed by Discovery. And I think I agree. Lower Decks is probably going to be maybe October, November instead of the August or September that we usually get.
That sounds fair.
I know animation is under a different guild, but all of, most of, if not all, of the voice actors are also Screen Actors Guild because they also do live action.
Right, exactly.
So that's going to put that hamper on when. Not the peanut hamper, but
you did to yourself.
I was waiting for that one.
Delay on that, but to put that on the production there. So I think it's going to be later, but I think that, like Peter said, it's going to be a quicker turnaround than anything live action. And Strange New Worlds not till 2025.
Yeah.
That's a long time to wait for a cliffhanger, but so be it.
Yeah, it is what it is for what they accomplished. And I said this right when the writer's strike got rolling. I'm like, you know what? If I'm not watching Star Trek again until 2027, these people should get what they you know what? And we had a 12-year break between the end of Enterprise and the beginning of Discovery. I'm not talking about the JJ films because I don't want to get emotional.
It's a different thing entirely.
Yeah, it's a different thing entirely.
It also wasn't on TV. So.
And it also wasn't on TV.
Yeah, it was. And we didn't even know that we were going to get any more Star Trek TV.
Right.
We just figured it was not. So
yeah, and let alone this kind of new golden era that we have. So, but I mean, the landscape changed, and a very serious course correction was needed, so that the people who make this entertainment can make a living, and they weren't. I mean, the vast majority of them, not your Tom Cruises and big stars of the universe. They were. I'm sure they were just fine.
Star Trek actors that we see, and all of the hey, it's that guy. It's the working actors that rely on having some kind of steady paycheck and steady work, and it was the same thing for the writers. So I'm ecstatic that it's over as quickly as it is. I mean, relatively speaking, because it could have dragged on for a lot longer.
I mean, it was the longest strike of the strikes that have existed, but for what they accomplished, it's massive. Exactly. It's absolutely massive. So, well, cool. Well, you know what? Again, going out to everyone affected by the writer's strike and the SAG-AFTRA strike, we are very glad that you guys got what you needed, and that you're going to be back entertaining us, because we do love you very much. That's a message right from SFU. All right, well, let's move into actual segment one. News is called segment 1/2, by the way, if you're keeping score on your little scorecard at home. We are wrapping up season 4 of Star Trek Lower Decks with a two-parter, a self-contained cliffhanger. But again, when we jump in, we get a cliffhanger sort of in the end of this, like we have with the show all along. So, okay, who's grabbing episode 9? Dude, don't make me assign it to Jen. All right. Ooh, I was right.
All right. Okay, so the mysterious vessel is now attacking former Starfleet officers, and the Cerritos is assigned to locate and protect former cadet Nick Locarno.
I don't see it.
Of all of the people that they could bring back, that is
I know.
Wow.
That is get a shovel and start digging, because that's a deep dive.
So Freeman assigns Mariner, Tendi, Tallinn, and Boimler to a safe buoy repair job because Mariner's been off the rails. And on the planet, they find that there are senior officers of various missing ships, including Ma'a, the Klingon from Wej-Duj.
Nice.
So they're working to get off of the planet. And Mariner talks a little bit more about her past, which we'll get into. And on the tail end of that, we have Mariner getting beamed up after finding her confidence and going Starfleet, I'm here. And
getting her group back, totally.
Up, and there's Nick Locarno.
What? Nick Locarno? I don't see it. Nick Locarno, I don't see it. Is now the name of the episode. Nick Locarno, I don't see it. All right. Break it down for me.
They have the same face.
Oh, my gosh. All right, Jen, how are you feeling while I type the name of this episode?
Oh, my God, I love this episode. I mean, Lower Decks is Lower Decks, but one of the things that I love so much about Lower Decks is that the characters go on these real journeys, and Mariner especially. And I could talk about how much I love Beckett Manor for probably the next hour, so I will spare all of you that. Look for my essay coming up on Screen Rant, I guess.
I can't wait. I know your stuff on Screen Rant has been fantastic. You did a Tom Paris article recently.
I did.
Yeah.
I did the 10 best Tom Paris episodes, and I have a one to follow up with that. The infamous Tom Paris episode, so you'll see that.
the now 3 best Nick Locarno episodes.
Yeah, for real. So what I loved with this is that there is a genuine reason for Mariner's going off the rails. It's not just her self-sabotage. I mean, it is, but it's almost like the reason for her self-sabotage over the course of the past 4 seasons. And the reason, she realizes the reason that she's holding herself back is that she doesn't want to send people to their demise. Mm-hmm. She doesn't want to be a general or an admiral. She doesn't want to be in charge. She just wants to be an ensign. And it all cycles back to the original Next Generation episode called Lower Decks. And
My brain did not even make the connection, though I knew that's where we saw Shannon Phil, who's, Cito Jaxa, who they brought back for this episode. And it's always weird when they bring back an actor 30 years later, because I didn't pick her voice out, because my voice now versus my voice when I was 18 does not sound the same. And her voice didn't sound the same. I didn't think so at all. Her voice was very, she was in her early 20s, and now she's, she's a few years older than I am. So she's in her early 50s, I'm guessing. And it was like, I did not think that sounded like her, because people's voices
I immediately pegged who it was.
Yeah, I mean, gold star for you, Peter. You know what that kind of reminded me of, that Mariner and her big self-actualization of, well, this is why I am the way I am. There's an absolutely dreadful early season 5 episode of Deep Space Nine where Worf and Dax are hashing out their relationship. They're all on Risa together. Does this ring a bell?
Oh yeah, that one. I just saw that.
We finally find out after all these years why he is so stoic, because he tells the story of growing up on Galt, the farm world, where he lived with his foster parents and his brother, and playing a game of soccer. And he jumped up with this other kid at the same time to catch a soccer ball. He headbutted this kid and he broke this kid's neck, and the kid died. And so Worf said, well, if I'm to live among humans, I have to really be as less Klingon as possible. And that's what that resonated with me immediately when she said that. She said, she scrambled, but that was not really self-sabotage in Worf's case, but it has an essence of being, well, this is why I am the way I am. And it's not something that I'm willing to talk about. But with Worf, it just took a lot longer, and it came out in a really weird way, a really weird story.
That was a strange episode.
Very much so. It did give us washed up soul singer Vanessa L. Williams as yet another lover of Curzon, old lover of Curzon. I don't know. It was a weird episode.
Yeah. But anyway, we'll be talking about that more. When we get to season 5 of DS9.
When we get season 5, it's not that far off. So
but it explains. Yeah, so it explains Mariner, and then Ma'a over here being the Klingon counselor, talking about you don't honor your friend by holding yourself back.
Right.
That doesn't pay her any respect.
Yeah. She died for your right to go out and explore, flowers or whatever. Yeah.
Right.
To look at plants.
To look at plants.
And, this is all Mariner's trauma, because it's not just Sito's death. It's the Dominion War that came after that. We saw that she served on DS9. Or went to DS9 at one point.
Right.
And, she was wearing those Dominion War uniforms in the flashback. So we know that she was serving during that. So I don't blame her for just being the way she is. But I love it. I love it. And I loved all the Star Wars references in this episode as well.
Star Wars references? What did I miss?
It was the Forest Moon. There was a lot of Forest Moon stuff.
There was the Forest Moon.
The bunker looked exactly like the one from
Oh my God, what?
In the other subplot where you had
Mos Eisley.
Captain Freeman and Shax.
Oh, God, yes.
Going down to the planet. They went to Tatooine. They went to Mos Eisley. The whole plot about the random bounty hunter being Billups was just like Leia in Return of the Jedi.
Oh, my God. I just told it.
Yeah.
It was so hilarious.
It did not resonate with me. Oh my goodness, you guys. Yeah. Well, gold star for you, and I'll wear the Star Trek dunce cap. You can see it.
No, that's the cross pollination of Star Wars. You don't necessarily have to catch all of it.
And Peter will echo this, and Jen, I don't know if you catch as much of this being at shows and working booths. I don't know if you Star Trek up much, if you do, but people who want to come up and tell you, oh well, I prefer Star Wars. Like that's some kind of it's like, excuse me, like you're declaring your religion or your political party when you're diving between the two. We get it. Peter and I just did a very big show over the weekend, and there are people who just want to tell you that all the time, like it means something. I just don't get it.
Ren Fair, because we wear Starfleet uniforms at Ren Fair, and some person just shouts out, "Star Wars is better," and we're like,
"Bro,
hey, here's our coins for the 501st because we're both members." Like,
yeah, exactly.
It's
what kind of narrow-minded ding dong has to choose? Yeah,
you don't have to choose.
Yeah, I know. That's so super rude. Anyway, Peter,
good stories are good stories.
Good stories are good stories. Peter, what do you think, my friend?
I thought this episode was great for pretty much the same reasons. I really liked Mariner's character development and the reveal. That was really well done. I thoroughly enjoyed the tie back to First Duty, that flashback scene.
That was awesome.
That was fun.
Little Beckett, like, oh, blah, 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 so excited about books and studies.
It was
and
Boimler-ish Beckett, which was just hilarious.
She was so earnest. I loved her being earnest.
Yeah, it was great. And then, hearing, Robert Duncan McNeil back as Locarno, and then, Cito and Will Wheaton coming back in animated form as
trying to sound
as Crusher.
Right.
He was definitely trying to sound younger. He was harder. He was a harder sell for me. Cito I could buy.
Right.
Crusher was harder for me.
Well, I think I think we've made the cardinal mistake of kind of blending these episodes together. But you know what? Who cares? We're talking about both episodes. That was it's a two-part. So that's okay.
Was that flashback later?
Okay.
Yeah, because the episode 9 ended with the reveal of Nick Locarno.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, but you know what? Who cares? Who cares? But yeah. Anyway, episode here. I'll do the mid segue. Episode 10 is called Old Friends, New Planets. And yes, Peter, if you want to fill in the blanks about episode 10, and then you can continue.
Okay, since I jumped the phaser bank already,
so better than jumping into it.
Well, I mean, that does happen. So Locarno, we get a reveal, is creating a fleet of mutinous crews that he has designated the Nova Fleet after his infamous Colvord starter. And he also has a Genesis device that we saw in passing, which I thought originally was a gag back earlier in the season.
Oh, right.
Surprise, it's relevant.
But surprise, right. It's a Chekhov's gun, which is nice.
Thanks, Freddie, foreshadowing. We appreciate it.
Yeah. But I mean, Lower Decks throws in so many things that are just jokes that you never know.
Yeah.
So anyway, we find out that Locarno has captured Mariner, so that he hopes that she's going to give some legitimacy to his position of like, here's a Starfleet officer who doesn't like Starfleet and is still there. And so you can say how all of these people don't like any of their fleets and we all need to independently trash everything.
You're right.
And then she like throws a Mariner-sized wrench in his plan of like,
this
he's an idiot. Like on the view screen, broadcasting to the entire quadrant. This guy sucks.
It's like that's Dangerous Live TV, live from the Beta Quadrant. It's Saturday night. Oh God, that could be a better one. Okay, there we go. All right, keep talking.
So they figure out the Cerritos crew figures out where she is. They try to get Starfleet to let them go. Starfleet says no. So they go to Orion, and Tendi convinces her sister to not do anything. And so they fight, leading to a very hilarious combat with Miglimo and this other giant Orion, just hysterically stupid.
Oh my gosh! And that she was so strategic, and she came so close. If Miglio would have just done a tuck and roll
3 feet to the right, he would have been fine.
Then they would have won. But you know what? Nothing ever goes to plan because that would just be too easy.
But Tendi has to say that she's going to go work with her sister afterwards, and then they get a giant Orion battleship that is essentially a hunk of metal that is useless.
It is, yes. It's a Ford Pinto, without a doubt.
Yeah, it's completely broken. So they come up with this big old plan to get in, but in the meantime, Mariner steals the Genesis device and then pulls a Star Trek II in a nebula, which is absolutely fantastic.
Nice, yes.
And shenanigans ensue. The Genesis device gets set off. Locarno tries to turn it off. Hits a Ferengi paywall, which was hilarious, and then blows up. So everyone's reunited. Things are going well.
Oops, we lost Jen. Hold on, I'm gonna stop us for a second here. Well, we had a little whoopsie. Sorry, but we're back again. So, Peter, you were saying?
So they all finish up the episode. They get all reunited. We find out that they're going to name this new Genesis planet Locarno because his molecules are in the planet, which is, fun.
Right.
And then we actually see a very cool character moment for one of my favorite characters, T'Lyn, where she's invited back to her Vulcan ship and she's like, nah, I'm going to stay with the family that I've gotten here.
I love it.
It's really great. And then as in classic Lower Decks fashion, we have the cliffhanger where Tendi beams back to her sister's ship and then flies off into who knows where doing who knows what.
That was such a great parting. She's looking out the window. It's like, all right, time to go to work. We can do this. She walks away, and then the camera pulls back, and it's just a star field, and the credits start to roll. And it was funny because I was watching it, and then if you're watching Paramount Plus, it dumps it over and says, start watching a classic sitcom Frasier in 30 seconds. And you're like, no, go back. I want to make sure they didn't sneak something in. And they didn't, but it was just very cool.
Yeah, for me, it kicked me to the ads, so I had to sit there through the ads to wait for
they
sneak something in the end.
Oh, I hate it. But no, it was that was great. I wouldn't even really know what to add. It was great to see everybody pulled together. And yeah, what a completely random, like, oh, Nick Locarno, what? And obviously the absolute best bit is when he's doing his YouTube live, that you have Boimler at the helm, and you have Rutherford sitting at ops, and he's like, Boimler's like, oh my God, he looks just like Tom Paris. And as we alluded to earlier, no.
I thought he looked like Tom Paris and
no. It was
Rutherford's the one who can't see it.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry.
Yeah, Rutherford's like, no, man. He's like, oh my God, it looks just like Tom Paris. No, man, I don't see it. He's like, they literally have the same face. No, man, I don't get it. And it's true, they had different hairstyles or whatever, but because we've seen Tom Paris in Lower Decks where he looks essentially the same. Do keep in mind this is only like about 5 years after Voyager ended. Yeah. But he and Nick Locarno are not related. They're not the same person, even though they kind of have the same face. It doesn't mean that they're not the same age, because I think Tom Paris might have actually been a couple of years older, because when Voyager started,
there's a chance that they were at the Academy at the same time.
That is true. Yes, that would get really, really confusing for the face recognition software. If Nick Locarno dropped his phone and Tom Paris picked it up, oh, there you go. Yeah, but they were close-ish enough in age, but obviously Locarno's had a very rough life, and so he looks a bit rough or whatever it is. So, but yeah, he got to
New Zealand will change people, I guess.
Yeah, I guess. Well, apparently it keeps people young. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah. So Nick Locarno got to do a con. He gets to be part of a planet. Mm-hmm. The question is, has the Genesis device been perfected in a century so that it's not packed with protomatter and it's going to self-destruct the way it did in Star Trek 3? Dunno.
That's what it sounded like, but that could be another, throwaway joke in episode 7 of next season.
Right. Well, the planet Locarno, exploded.
And it'll be fine.
Yeah, exactly. So, good stuff.
Locarno's going to resurrect. Who knows? There's all sorts of crazy stuff they can do.
Exactly. Unstoppable, crazy stuff. All right, so.
I don't think so, but it's something that they might do.
Lower Decks, anything can happen.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Without a doubt. All right, so we've reached the end of season 4, and so I'm going to throw it out to you guys. Do we have a favorite episode? Do we have a favorite moment? And what does season 5 look like for you guys? What do you guys really want to see? Jen?
I just loved the whole season. There was not a dud in the single.
I mean, I so totally agree with you, because again, I got to see episodes 1 through 8 in a drop because I got the screener. So I watched them and got to absorb all that, and then I got to watch them again in normal parlance so that we could talk about. So I get to watch them again 2 at a time, so we could talk about it on the show.
I liked seeing Ferenginar. I liked seeing Orion. I loved seeing Ram and Lita back. They were fantastic.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Season 5, I want T'Lyn in there. Yeah. More T'Lyn. She's great. She and Boimler really bounce off each other really well, I think. Please bring Tendi back.
Oh, it's going to happen.
It's not going to be the same without her.
Yeah.
I don't know if she's on a special assignment as, diplomat or whatever, Section 30, whoever, whatever.
Yeah, right.
I don't know, but she's some kind of double agent thing that'll be fun.
Right.
She going to come up with Boimler's clone?
Yeah, he never came back.
That was going to be, that's my ad for season 5. I'd like to see, William Boimler come back and even perhaps the Titan again and a storyline that would put all that together.
Yeah. So I'm ready for whatever they want to throw at us.
I know. This has been, I would almost say, of all of the Star Treks, everything put together, I almost feel like this has been the most nearly flawless show that we've had. There can be some really, really bad episodes of all of the other shows. You know what I mean? Even though we love them a bit, but you're like that episode of DS9 we were talking about, or the clip show from TNG that we were talking about.
The only argument that I would make is Strange New Worlds is also amazing.
I mean, there have been some episodes.
That's my opinion, and
that's fine. I don't necessarily. There are some episodes of Strange New Worlds that I've not dug. The musical was not so great for me. We've talked about that. I was 50-50 on it, but it's otherwise greatly revered. But yeah, Lower Decks. I just feel like they're not. There's just not. There must be a couple of misses I'm not thinking about. Maybe I'm a little.
The only miss is the Bird Planet one that I didn't love. But
you see, that's your musical episode. Yeah,
right, exactly. I didn't care for that one, but and the great thing is too that it's great for the people like us who've seen all of the episodes and recognize all the deep cuts, and they go, "Holy crap, Nick Locarno!" But like. For the people who don't know that stuff, you still have a really good story. They explain exactly what happened, how it's relevant to the plot. And if something's not relevant to the plot, it's a joke that gets glossed over and you move on.
Right. Totally.
So I like that. And I love the first episode with all the Voyager references because
oh my God, that was so great. I know, yeah, Voyager. If there was ever to be a ship, it's one of those. If you ever to pick a ship that you wanted to live on, which one would you pick? I of course would pick the Constitution 2, the refit. That's my ship. Voyager for you, Peter. What about you? What's your ship to live on?
To live on? I don't know. That's a problem.
That'll be that.
There's too many.
I hear you. All right, same question for you about a favorite and hopes for season 5.
I mean, I loved having more T'Lyn because T'Lyn was awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, as we know, I really like Vulcans.
Yeah.
So T'Lyn was just great. One of my favorite moments from the show was acting Captain Bradford Boimler in the finale. That was one of my favorite moments. It was a great peak for Boimler in this season, and he wasn't being a dweeb about it.
Right.
Like he was geeking out, but he was actually like, he was in command. He was doing what he needed to do.
Commanding.
He was being a commanding officer, and it was really, it was a really good moment for that character. And so I really, really, really enjoyed that scene. It was really short, but it was one of my favorite parts.
And Mariner said, "Hey, it's great that this is in no way gone to your head." I love that line. A little bit. So
which is fair, but
yeah. No doubt about it. Well, I kind of punctuated my thoughts in between, but again, I just nail. As far as the season goes, maybe I'll refine down my statement to say I can't think of another season, maybe season 7 of DS9, where I didn't watch one and thought, I could have done without this one, because it was accessible, but it also did have a throughput story, but it wasn't so involved that you couldn't tune in and not I miss episode 3 and I jumped to episode 4 and I don't know what the hell's going on, like you would with Discovery or something like that, because it's so layered and interconnected. And I do like that. It does harken back to a simpler time, I should say, with storytelling. Cool. All right. Well, we'll wrap on that. Our shared prediction is that we'll hopefully see season 5 of Lower Decks closer to the end of 2025. So maybe essentially about a year from now.
24.
Yeah, 24. Oh my gosh. Don't want to go back in time.
Do not jinx us. Mm-mm.
Yes, exactly. So that's what we're hoping. So, but again, dear listeners, as we know things, you will know things, because that's what we do. Okay. Let's jump on to segment 2. Continuing to talk about Deep Space Nine. Were we all together last episode, or Jen, was it just you and me? I can't remember.
I was gone.
Yes. So now,
because we got off on all of those tangents about.
Oh my gosh! Yes, it was just actually. The Playmates. I was super excited. Speaking of Playmate action figures and a tangent that Jen started, so I'm going to really put the blame right back on her. We did a great charity auction at Grand Rapids Comic Con, where in one fell swoop we raised almost $1,000 with 65 items that goes to the Make-A-Wish of Michigan, which I'm very excited about. But one of the items that surprised the hell out of me was a 1994 mint on card Star Trek Generations William T. Riker figure in that weird uniform that I really love and would love to see on screen someday. I don't know if you're familiar. Yeah, you're familiar with the story. They had uniforms designed, and then ultimately, for either budgetary or other considerations, they scrapped them, and then they just wore what you see Peter wearing. And also their existing uniforms from the show. That figure, now most Playmates figures on card, if somebody's being realistic, sell for about $5. We had a bidding war between two of our members, including dear friend Kristens, who is a great member of our chapter, that she really wanted to take home Little Riker, which led to a lot of really inappropriate jokes. But that figure netted $25, which I was very impressed by. And it all went to charity. So thank you to actually Amelia, who's another member of our chapter, who was the winner of that figure. So I appreciate that love for Playmates. But anyway, tangent resolved.
I got starships.
Peter bought, Jen, you would have been proud. Peter bought like 5 of those old Playmates Strike Force things, the ships that fold into little play sets. Because he was like, man, I had these. I lost this one. I broke this one. And Peter, did you get 5 of them?
Yep.
I'm not surprised. It's very on brand.
They're fantastic. Yep. I only got 2 items myself. I got an early 2000s Art Asylum, like really stylized big Klingon figure that's like 10 inches tall. And then I got a dumb thing. They're called headliners. I had this in 1997. There are 3 bendy figures. One is a Species 8472. Another one's a Jem Hadar. And the third one is a Borg, I think. So basically it's Voyager and DS9 themed. But I had them many years ago, but they were lost to the throes of time. So anyway, wow, super duper tangent. Segueing back to talking about Deep Space Nine, we're getting into, again, season 4 and the second segment of episodes. So Peter, why don't you kick us off, since you were not here last time, talking about episode 7?
All right, so episode 7, Starship Down, directed by Alexander Singer, written by David Allen Mack and John D. Ordover, aired November 4th of 95. The Defiant becomes trapped in the atmosphere of a gas giant while battling the Jem Hadar.
Woohoo! Oh, awesome. I love it. What'd you think?
It's a great episode. There's a lot of good character moments in here. Quark with the torpedo is just hysterical to me.
Right.
It's just so silly.
And the camera is the race, and we've been seeing them since season 2. Yeah. But the actor is James Cromwell.
Once again.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you sometimes can't always tell by the makeup, but yeah, a lot of great character moments for Worf, because he's getting back into wearing the red suit, which of course we saw him in season 1 of TNG, but he never really commanded anything. He was like Joe Extra. He'd get a scene where he's standing around, or sometimes be at the helm or whatever. But in this, he's the strategic operations officer. He has responsibilities. He has to command people. And you find out, just how not great he is commanding enlisted people when he and O'Brien and a bunch of the non-coms are stuck in engineering trying to figure out how to get out of their situation. So he gets a little arm around the shoulder treatment from his old buddy Miles O'Brien. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yep. O'Brien, the most important person in Starfleet.
Oh, yeah, of all time. Jen, your thoughts?
I like this one. I like the types of things where you have, characters separated and like disasters going on, and you get to see more of them and how they interact together and how they handle themselves in a crisis, which, we have frequently on DS9. But I liked, some of those character moments that we get with that. I mean, Bashir and Dax being stuck together. I liked that. I liked, everything with Kira, everything with Worf. Like, everyone was just really, really good in this.
Right. Totally. Big time. Awesome. Yeah. Big fan. And, the tension and getting their way out. And of course, our people make it out alive. But yeah, the great character moments is really what drove
and
the
Krima, or the aliens that come back in Lower Decks.
Yes. Oh, that's right, man. What doesn't come back in Lower Decks? I asked that, and then you'll find out something like, oh my God, if they're bringing back Nick Locarno, who's next? Assistant Chief Engineer Jim Shimoda from season 1 of TNG. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. Or Lieutenant Commander Argyle, or that other chick who kind of looked like Tammy Wynette, who was also a chief engineer in season 1. Go back and look. I'm telling you.
Maybe we'll bring back the Mia Jameson's
Mem
transporter.
Right, exactly. or Terry Hatcher as transporter chief, season 2. The outrageous Okana.
Robin Leffler.
Oh my gosh, Ashley Judd.
Yeah.
That'd be
Never
pretty
know.
awesome.
Now, but
Never can tell. All right, Jen, you've got a fun one with episode 8, so take it away.
Oh boy.
I love this one. Little Green Men, directed by James L. Conway, a story by Tony Marbury and Jack Trevino, teleplay by Ira Stephen Bear and Robert Hewitt Wolfe. Aired November 11th, 1995. Quark, Rom, Nog, and Odo are accidentally thrust back in time to Roswell, New Mexico, Earth in 1947.
Whee! I love seeing an episode that's written by that is potentially a slush script, because Tony Marbury and Jack Trevino, I've never heard of them. So a slush script that's then touched up by Ira and by Robert Hewitt Wolfe, who are obviously the guys for DS9, because you can tell that it's coming from a weird little spot, but then you have somebody who shapes it up. So, oh my God, what a great episode! So tell us what you think.
Fantastic. This one and the next two are some of my sick day episodes. They were all on a tape together, so
yeah,
and I'll run through my head. They all go. So this is one of those episodes that I put on when I'm like, I want a good, like, funny DS9 episode, and it's the Ferengi in Roswell, and they're like trying to figure themselves out. They're trying to like make trade with with the military here. And it's funny. It's a good time.
Yeah.
I just really like this one.
This is good. And Charles Napier, who is a guy who is on like every That Guy show and movie. Like he was in the Blues Brothers. They were they were the country band. Like, we're the good old boys. That was him. Right. Chicago classic. Obviously, being from Chicago, I'm sure you're not allowed not to know that movie backwards and forwards. Isn't that the law? No? Am I making that up? Not so much.
You can't put ketchup on your hot dog. I know that.
That's not. I don't think that's from that movie. Oh my God,
it's not. I'm just talking about Chicago.
It's just a law.
Oh, that's the law. Okay,
Chicago,
very good.
Yeah.
Chicago law. Oh my God, that's going to be one of those new. That's going to be one of those new Law and Order. Chicago law.
They police the hot dogs and
police the hot.
That would actually be very amusing. Like all these obscure little Midwest traditions.
Yeah, right. Oh my God, Peter's got a great
show up.
Got a great idea for a TV show.
Ketchup on a hot dog.
Boom. But yeah, this is Ferengi episodes are always great. They're always not so, life or death, because they're fun. But this one did have, the fun, we were part of history. And then, this is Nog's beginning in Starfleet. And we get actress Megan, she comes back a bunch of different times. She's one of those, she's that gal who's the nurse. I feel like there were some other faces in this one that I'm just not coming with. They got to, poor cousin Gala is again the butt of the jokes. We get to meet him, I think, in season 6 with the Magnificent Ferengi. He owns a moon. Oh my gosh, Peter, your thoughts about this one? Oh my goodness, medical emergency over on Peter's screen.
No,
season.
Caught the macro virus. We're all going.
Oh
no. This episode always makes me smile. It's just, I love Ferengi episodes. They're so stupid, but they're enjoyable.
Yeah.
Like, I also thoroughly enjoy when they have, especially the Ferengi commenting on human society, because you just show how much they don't know, and it's just hilarious. Like,
right.
They irradiated their own planet. If Nog says so, they did. He knows everything about Earth history. Well, that's not what happened.
The Martians are gonna invade Cleveland. They can have it.
It's just so funny hearing all these like Nog and Rom and Quark making these like definitive statements about Earth history. It's like,
right?
No, it's just so funny.
Exactly. We know about humans. Baseball, root beer.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. No, it's good stuff. Awesome. Okay.
Means the Ferengi predate the Vulcans in our first contact.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, but of course, because it's Roswell, New Mexico, and the famous cover-up, it's been buried. Yes,
this was also when like X-Files was super huge in 1995 too. So it's like
it definitely feels like it's kind of a tie-in to that, which is just hilarious. Or like later shows like Stargate doing the same sort of thing, where you have people from the future going back to that time, like. I love a good Roswell joke because they're just funny.
Right. Hadn't been a bad one yet. No, that's awesome. Good deal. All right. Moving right along. The Sword of Kahless is episode 9, directed by LeVar Burton. Yes, Jordy himself. Story by Richard Danis. Don't know him, but Hans Bleimler did the teleplay. He's a regular of the series from November of 95. Worf, Dax, and a revered Klingon Dahar Master, Kor, who is the surviving one from season 2's big old Klingons on Parade episode, search for the Sword of Kahless to unite the Klingon Empire. Nice. I love it. Good Klingon episode in a season of Klingon episodes propelling forward. We get a return of Toral, who is the bastard son, pardon the expression, of the Duras family, but they recast him for some reason, which is probably, I understand that, because that actor in the Redemption 2-parter in TNG was such a pipsqueak that you couldn't really
very small.
You couldn't really feel a sense of him being threatening, even if he was surrounded by other Klingons. So I guess I kind of get it. But some of this was kind of a bummer because, Worf really admires Kor, and then they both get, when they finally find this ancient artifact, this Sword of Kahless, it turns them against each other, and that for me that was kind of hard to watch. I was kind of bummed out, though it was pretty obvious to figure out what was going on because Dax was the only one that was like, "What the hell's wrong with you guys?" But yeah, the Sword of Kahless is kind of that, it's the Holy Grail, the Ark of the Covenant, the obsession the possession obsession. Another great song, Hall & Oates. I don't know. I love them. Maybe you guys don't. But yeah, that part of it was kind of tough to watch, but it was really very exciting. And it echoes more modern TV shows where everything is super dark that you got to watch with the lights out. Because I think I did just to kind of get some nuance. You're like, what the hell's going on?
Dark.
It is
in caves.
Yes, physically
it is a
dark.
cave episode. They're probably this was probably before they were able to touch up the paint.
Yeah.
It's the cave set from season 1 of TNG that they recycled a billion times.
They're so dark.
That too.
Yeah. They didn't bring in their own dark spray paint. All right, we got the actors have to paint. They'll have a can of spray paint before the camera rolls. Cost cutting. So
if you fall on the floor and you notice paint,
yeah,
there you go.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, come on. We're a team here. Chip in. But yeah, cool stuff. And again, it's wedged between two funny satirical episodes. And does, at the periphery, it's like, okay, Sisko lets him goes on the mission because, hey, if we brought back the sword, maybe that would help things out with the Klingon. But ultimately, Worf concludes that, hey, if we bring this back, you thought the Klingon Civil War in TNG was bad. This will be unbelievably horrible. So
it was one of those where it's like we already have a clone of Kahless, and that caused a lot of problems. What we're bringing back the actual Sword of Kahless do,
right? Yeah, and if you read the Star Trek comics right now, of which I've kind of fallen off, there's a big Klingon war going on, and Kahless is the main dude.
Yeah, in Star Trek Online, they actually were doing something very similar.
Yeah. So basically, your footnote is Kahless is Kahless 0 stars. Do not recommend. He's a bad bloke, as they'd say in the Australia. So, Jen, what are your thoughts?
I liked this one also. It is that the artifact puts the whammy on them basically and kind of makes them fight.
Yeah.
So it was good that you had Dax along to break that up and have her go, dudes,
yeah. Come on now. It's a sword. Just chill out.
Yeah. And I mean, I get the idea of, the concept of bringing it back would help, but also hurt way more than it would help.
Right.
Especially at this point, because we are, the Khitomer Accords are gone at this point. We're not friends with the Klingons again. So that coming from a Starfleet thing would be not so great. So
right.
Yeah. So yeah, just better to just kind of leave it there and
let it float in space for the next guy to find, because that's what they end up doing. They end up giving it a big flush. So, after that heavy duty stuff, we get back to something fun and crazy. So, Peter, episode 10.
All right. This is another Garrick episode, partially. Our Man Bashir. Directed by Winrick Colby, story by Robert Gillian, teleplay by Ronald D. Moore. aired November 25th of 95. Bashir plays a 1960s secret agent in a holosuite, not to be based on anyone in particular, when Garrick unexpectedly intrudes, hilariously while the car is moving. But his help is needed when the DS9 computer uses the holosuite to store the patterns of other crew members during a transporter accident, leading to many shenanigans.
So many shenanigans.
I love shenanigans.
Fun sidebar that I get from reading my Star Trek The Encyclopedia, which I have on my shelf right over here. Stardate wise, during this exact time period is when the USS Enterprise E left space dock for the first time. Oh, there you go.
Cool.
So yes. All right. So Peter, what'd you think? So many shenanigans.
So many shenanigans. This episode is absolutely hysterical.
Oh, I know. Everything they do.
I love watching this one. Like, I remember the first time I watched it, I was like, okay, what's going on? And then Garrick is just standing outside while clearly the car is still moving, which I thought that was one of the funniest holodeck gags that I had seen up to that point.
Mm-hmm.
Where it was just like, yeah, the car is moving. And Garrick's just standing outside.
Right. Just a man in the canoe.
So funny. I don't know why that scene sticks in my head so much, but it's just so ridiculous. And then, Garrick and Bashir having to work together as like a secret agent duo to play out this story so they don't like kill the crew.
Right.
And you have like Eye Patch O'Brien and lounge singer Kira, and it's just so obnoxious.
That would be a better name for his character, Eye Patch O'Brien. I like it.
Yeah, it's just such a. I mean, the conceit of the movie is a little of the episode is a little silly. Of like they're stored in the holosuite because the transporter buffers don't have space, but like Worf is a casino. It's just so. Yeah.
Everybody is everybody is so.
But it doesn't make sense because it's so much fun.
Exactly. It's like it's like a really cheesy, crappy James Bond movie, but it's brilliant
with laser. It's like Dr. Evil, frickin' lasers that'll destroy the.
That's what Sisko's character looked like.
Yeah. So ham on this. Like,
I know.
The acting is just all there. And just into it, and
you could tell everyone loved making this episode because they just go full ham on the whole thing. It's just hilarious.
And I love Garrick all being like, "My dear doctor, you think that's what spies are really like?" I mean, not that I would know, because I certainly wouldn't know what that's like. But
just a simple Taylor.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Which just made this episode that much more hilarious. Of like Garrick, it's clear Garrick is a spy. Everyone knows that, and he's like, "This is what you think of spies. This is how Earth did spies."
Oh my God! Yeah, exactly. Oh my God! No, it was absolutely perfect in every way. It was fun. And again, I'm echoed from a talk that I heard Ira give when he was a guest on Star Trek Cruise earlier this year. He says, "You know what? Nobody was paying attention to us. Nobody cares what we did, so we did what we wanted, and it was great." I think that's why the show's so good, because they didn't really have to wrestle with like, oh, Voyager's on a network, so we got to blah 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 this thing and that thing, and so sometimes for good, sometimes for bad.
Right. TNG was like the show,
the
main show, and then Voyager was like the main show, and DS9 could just kind of wanted.
They were. I mean, we rewatched. Captain Marvel, the 2019 Captain Marvel, and I was the line that makes me laugh the most is when she and Fury get to Pegasus and they're getting out of the car, they're going to walk around, and he says, "You look like somebody's disaffected niece," and so that's DS9. DS9 is Star Trek's disaffected niece. Take off the flannel.
Title.
Oh, there you go, Star Trek. Absolutely. Star Trek's disaffected niece. All right. Well, let's move on. While I type that, why don't we move on to Jen being the next reader?
All right. Next up, we have Homefront, directed by David Livingston, written by Ira Stephen Bear and Robert Hewitt Wolfe. Aired December 30th, 1995. Sisko and Odo are brought to Earth when it's suspected changelings are infiltrating Starfleet. Part 1 of 2.
Love it. And feel free to, and there are 2 parts, so feel free to jump in and read the second one as well. And we'll just discuss them as a big old glob.
And Paradise Lost, directed by Reza Buddy. I'm sorry.
Close enough. I don't know.
I'm familiar with. Story by Ronald D. Moore and teleplay by Ira Stephen Bear and Robert Hewitt Wolfe. As Sisko and Odo prepare for a Dominion invasion, they discover a plot to place the Federation under military control.
Dun dun dun! Oh, I
Speaking of
loved.
things that are flying
Yeah.
over the radar.
No doubt about it. God, I loved everything about this too. But this is another one of those where I'm like, I'm just like, I spend a lot of time in hotels rooms and stuff when I travel for work. And I know once last summer, I was like, I'm just going to watch a bunch of Star Trek two-parters. That's just going to be my thing. That's what I'm going to have on. And this is one I think I even watched this one just a couple of months ago before I watched it just this past week, because I just absolutely love it. Everything you get, there's so much Starfleet in it, so much Earth, other ships, changing people still wearing the TNG costumes. I love. Got another and his father, and another bad admiral, and Nog, and shiftless cadets. You end up seeing that cadet later on in season 6, and things don't end up going so good for him and his buddies. Red Squad, idiots.
Ooh.
Oh, boo on Red Squad. But yeah, how cool and how great that this takes something Star Trek does so incredibly well, which is, shining a spotlight on something that's very terrifying in the world that we live in: military dictatorships and governments lying to us, and unscrupulous peoples in positions of power, and making us feel like it's very Hydra. It's very like Captain America and the Winter Soldier. It's Project Insight. It's we're willing to give up our freedom because you've terrified us so much. Bone chilling.
Definitely plays on McCarthyism too. I think that was the original basis for the story.
Oh, of course. But yeah, no, I love everything about this two-parter. It's absolutely one of my favorites. Mm-hmm. So, all right, I took over. So, Jen, your thoughts, please, since you read it.
This is just the intrigue of it, and the just everything that you said too about the Badmirals and such. It's not. I mean, TNG had its fair share of Badmirals, but even then, it was like Starfleet was still very noble. And this is maybe one of the first instances that you see of Starfleet being, well, aside from the conspiracy, but that's a different
right. But those were aliens.
Yes,
aliens.
But anyway, it's realistic, and when people have power, I mean, even in the future, when we're supposed to be kind of over ourselves, we're still human, so we're not going to be over ourselves. We're going to be suspicious and allow ourselves to be vulnerable. And it makes total sense for this to be like an attack on Earth, because in this point, Earth is a paradise. And to undermine that is just the most terrifying thing that could happen to Starfleet at this point too. So it's a good story. It's told well. I loved the bits with Sisko's dad and him just going like, I am not going to do this. I'm not going to subject myself to this. You don't have to, like, he's the one who's like standing strong against that. And you start to suspect, right?
Right. Oh, why is he pushing back so hard?
Why would he be a changeling? Oh, the emissary's father,
right.
There's reason for that to be. So you never really know where it's going. And it's neat to see that.
Yeah. God, totally. Peter.
I don't know how much more I can say. It's a really good two-parter. I do find it entertaining how, like, one of the big keys for Sisko to find out is just another, as either a captain or admiral, just like giving him extra information that he wasn't supposed to know on accident.
Yeah. Whoops.
It's just, well, this one was pretty clearly on accident.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so I liked how it's like, all these super manipulative bad guys are still, at the end of the day, still people and occasionally incompetent. And so that was kind of a nice little hat tip there of like, and also where you have like the admiral, like, he's not completely evil. He's trying to do something that he thinks is the right thing. He's just doing it. He's just going about it completely the wrong way.
Oh, absolutely.
Everybody thinks they're doing the right thing.
And that's a thing that I appreciate about this episode is it's not mustache twirling villains.
Yeah. Right.
Like, he has an identifiable motivation. It's something that's reasonable.
Right.
It's the way he thinks he's going to solve the issue is, bat guano, but it is what it is.
Nice.
So but it's a really good episode. I think it would be interesting if we saw some fallout from that particular admiral again.
Yeah.
Later on, maybe that's a character that Lower Decks will dig out of the,
Right.
the
Yeah.
basement. But
Admiral Layton. Yeah, exactly.
yeah,
And
but
I love seeing Susan Gibney back as a Starfleet officer. So she's actually that's Dr. Leah Brahms from seasons 3 and 4 of TNG, who is potentially the mother of Geordi's daughters. Maybe they got married. That happened in the Future Imperfect.
I hope
Yeah.
not.
Yeah. She survived. But I don't know, maybe she got washed out of Starfleet too, because she was part of his cabal. So maybe all those people got the bump, but it's kind of a bummer. One thing that always makes me chuckle about this episode is that the last scene that she and Cisco have together, she kind of makes a pass at him. Oh, Captain, I wish I'd got to know you better. I was like, I love little red herrings like that. And I know that
stay out of jail.
Yeah. I love that. I love it because Ira and Robert and Ron Moore were always very famous about your little throwaway lines like, it might be something, but it might be nothing. It was a mastery of their craft. I really did love how they did
here
that.
And there.
Little seeds, sprinkling seeds to see what grows. All right, cool. Very good. All right. Well, let's take it home with an episode that made both April and I very sad. We were watching it this morning. Episode 13 is Crossfire. Directed by Les Lando, and Renee Echevarria was the writer, so 2 rock-solid contributors to the Star Trek franchise from January of 1996. Odo's hidden feelings for Kira surface when the visiting Bajoran First Minister, Shakara Dan, begins to court her. Oh, God, we've all been there. I mean, I don't know. I shouldn't say we all, but many of us have been there. You love someone from afar. You don't do anything about it. Somebody else steps in, and then you're super duper heartbroken. That's really what this episode is all about. It is a very, very, very human story told through aliens. Are alien characters, but Star
Trek does best.
It's what Star Trek does best, taking a human situation and reflecting it back through science fiction. What a fine episode, but a heartbreaker, and we all know that as the series goes on, this situation gets resolved. But for now, oh God, what a bummer! Such a bummer, And knowing what could have been, but Odo, he's just you humanoids and your feelings, and then you find out just how deeply he really feels about Kira. She's his, to quote Barry White, she's his first, his last, his everything. That was a tough one. That was a tough one. So, what did you guys think?
Honestly, I don't remember a whole lot about this episode.
Well, I hope that means that you watched it.
No. I don't have a whole lot to say on this one.
Your mouse does. It's very squeaky.
It is very squeaky. Because I was getting this one mixed up in my head with the one with the changeling later.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
So, so that's why it's like I don't have a whole lot because these are getting messed up in my brain.
That's all right.
No, with this one, it's. I mean, Odo's just it's heartbreaking. He doesn't know what to do.
Right.
He's never done this before. He doesn't even realize this is really what's happening.
Right.
With his feelings until it's gone. Until it's not an option anymore. So but he doesn't do anything. He loves her so much and he's respectful. He's grumpy because he's Odo. He's always grumpy, but it's I liked seeing, and even though this was sad, it's interesting to see just this whole clump of episodes all together, to have something like this follow up that that very political intrigue of the last 2-parter,
right?
And to kind of bring it in with this more personal, heartfelt story is, I think the pacing's good with it because you don't have just the constant political. Later
right.
in DS9,
right.
But you got to bring it back to the characters. You always have to bring it back to their feelings and their situations. And Odo as an analog for someone who is just completely unaware or unoblivious or neurodivergent or something where you don't know. We just don't know.
Yeah.
Because you don't have that experience, and you can't imagine it happening to you, you having feelings for anyone, or the person you having feelings for going off with someone else. And
yeah. No, it's a tough one. Most definitely. But again, you're right. You were right about overall. And again, as we wrap things up and we look at the totality of this group of episodes, it was a great weaving of the very heavy to the very silly to the very semi-serious to the very, very serious, and then to the very spot-on social commentary. So, absolutely dug it. So, okay, let's pick a favorite and a least favorite, and then we'll wrap it up. Peter, you're up.
All right. So a least favorite, if I had to pick one, I'm just going to probably say Crossfire just because I don't remember. Apparently it didn't stick.
Oh, man. Okay.
just because of that.
Yeah.
But I mean, if I had to pick something else, it would probably be, just because I loved everything so much would be Starship Down, just because I liked everything else.
Totally fair. Gotcha.
But
gotcha.
Yeah, and if I were to have to pick a favorite, I want to say Homefront and Paradise Lost, but if I had to pick anything else, it would be Our Man Bashir.
I hear you. It's a tough three-way tie with the two-parter mixed in there, no doubt about it. Jen, how about you?
I think least favorite is Starship Down, just kind of process of elimination, because they're all so good.
Yeah.
And favorite, I gotta go with Our Man Bashir.
Yeah.
It's great. It's so fun.
Yeah.
And I love Bashir. I really do. And Derek, and we're gonna go with that one. Little Green Man's a close second, though.
Right. I hear you. Well, I'll probably go least favorite, probably the Sword of Kalis. I liked it, but it was a bummer for me to see, the kind of the highs and to see them get so obsessed with the sword, and then to see the unpleasantness between Worf and Corey. I just didn't dig it. But while I did love the comedic episodes, like I said, Homefront and Paradise Lost is one of my go back tos that I love so much. Great character development for Sisko, getting to dig deeper into his life and seeing so much of the Starfleet intrigue and the Badmirals and stuff. That's just where I live. I love it. Well, cool. All right. Well, that wraps us up on this segment 2. We'll be moving into part 3, and then segment 1 of our next episode will be a very special episode selected by our own Jen Watson that is very topical to something that we discussed in this very episode, but we're going to keep it a secret. But at any rate, this was great fun. Jen, where do people find you out there?
I have a link tree, which is linktree.com/JenWatsonArt. On that link tree, you can find my Instagram, Facebook, Etsy store, Screen Rant author page, and all of my other projects.
Awesome. And Peter, how about you?
You can find me in various places at Petrus Aquinas. I'm not very active, but I'm around.
He's there. He'll be around. Well, you can find me over on X Twitter, though I probably doing a bit less than I used to, at the C3. Go ahead and spell it out. I am trying to be, I don't much care for Facebook, but I do try to be active on the other siblings of Facebook. That would be Threads and Instagram. I'm C3 Carpenter, spell it out. You can find me there. But most importantly, you can find myself and my lovely wife over with the USS Grand Petoskey. That is our chapter of the International Star Trek Fan Club that we run here out of West Michigan. Peter is, of course, a member. Jen, I'd love to have you on board someday. Plug. But anyway, we were very, very honored to have attended the Grand Rapids Comic-Con here in Grand Rapids just this past weekend. We talked to dozens, if not what felt like hundreds of trekkers over that 3-day period. Got a lot of people we still need to follow up with. But more importantly, as I had mentioned earlier, we had a great charity auction, which alone raised almost $1,000. Our donated items to the booth raised another almost $800, meaning about $1,800 that we're able to give to Make-A-Wish of Michigan, a charity that's very important to me because I've talked in the past. My son Parker, who passed away back in 2020, dealt with a lifelong illness. He was 13, but he was a Make-A-Wish kid and got a trip to Disney from Make-A-Wish of Michigan before he passed. So that is always going to be, when I raise money for charity, that's always where it's going to go. And I'm just incredibly grateful to everyone who participated, people in our chapter, strangers we've never met, who just gave gave generously. I'm just very, very grateful. So anyway, if you're a Trekker, if you're in Michigan, or if you're in Eastern Canada, I'm actually run Region 13 for SFI. So I'm your guy. Google us at Region 13 or at USS Grand Petoskey. There'll be links to contact, and we can connect you with Trekkers where you live. So with that, I'm going to say thanks for joining us, friends. I'm going to tell you that sharing is caring, and to keep on trekking.
Be the Starfleet you wish to see in the world.
Peace and long life.
This podcast is part of the Secret Friends Unite podcasting network. Visit secretfriendsunite.com for more great shows, articles, news, reviews, and more. Secret Friends Unite podcasts are available on Apple, Google, Spotify, and other podcast services around the world. If you'd like to be part of the conversation, you can join us on Facebook or our new Discord server, or follow at Secret Friends U on Twitter. Please subscribe to Secret Friends Unite on YouTube and visit our merch store at tpublic.com. Just search Secret Friends Unite. Thanks for listening.